Awesome. Okay.
There we go.
Excellent.
Sit back and enjoy, everyone. Take it away, Maurice.
Thank you. Thank you, Trent. Appreciate this opportunity, everybody. Thanks for joining and enjoying your lunch with us. Today, as Trent mentioned, based that this is an innovation kind of talk and people want to know what's the latest out in the asphalt industry, we thought we'd bring you some of our 2021 product innovations from InstroTek. We do have quite a full schedule, so I'm going to try to go through this quickly. It's going to be like drinking from a fire hose this noon at this lunchtime, because we do have four products that we're going to introduce to you if you haven't seen them already, and one that hasn't even been released. You're actually the first to see this product, so it's a little bit of a sneak peek at a new product we have coming a little bit later on in the spring. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with our latest product, the non-nuclear asphalt density gauge. Now, most of you know a lot of non-nuclear products out there that are already in the market. This is InstroTek's version of it, and it's something that we've been working on for the last 5 years. If you know InstroTek, you know we're also a nuclear gauge manufacturer. We manufacture the CPN brand, MC Elite gauges, and the Explorer brand as well. This is our entry into the non-nuclear segment for asphalt pavements. We've done a lot of research on this, and we think we brought out a really good product with the quality that most people expect that is needed on the asphalt pavements. So again, this gauge is specifically made for non-nuclear asphalt density testing. So it's not made for sub-base or soils, only for the asphalt pavement. It is used as a quality control tool for most asphalt crews, and to control your rolling patterns, as well as achieve your highest density results you can. So it does give you that information back once you have it out in the pavement. The biggest thing about these advantages of these gauges is, again, they're non-nuclear, so it means there is no nuclear license required. It does function as an electric gauge or a dielectric with dielectric technology, meaning there is no harmful effects to the user when you have these out in the field. As well, there's no radiation safety training, no transportation or hazmat requirements or certificates you have to have, and it's just easy to transport back and forth from the laboratory and still give you that wealth of data, information that you need to make sure you're achieving density after the rollers. Here's just some specifications on the NoNuke from InstroTek. It does meet all the ASTM and AASHTO requirements of a non-nuclear density gauge. It has a large amount of internal storage to capture all the test data from that day or from multiple projects. And it has a USB port that can download all data quickly so you can analyze it back at the lab or even while you're still on the job site. It does have a long battery life, about 30 to 40 hours on a single charge. A really nice large LCD display that lets you see it even in direct sunlight. You can still see the display while working with the gauge on site. And we do provide GPS with the unit for location data. The other thing, compared to traditional nuclear gauges, they're a lot lighter, so they're easier to move around and not so much wear and tear on the shoulder and arm when you're moving them on the project or the paving site. What does the NoNuke give you? It gives you density, percent compaction, air voids. It also reports to you the surface temperature. You can have your project ID, so you can set up projects with this gauge, as well as GPS coordinates and date and time of when the test was taken in the field. Some of the advanced features that we have with this gauge is a quick start button that's located up on the top of the handle. This allows the user to quickly start a test without having to touch any of the keypad or anything else on the gauge, and continue doing that for as many tests as they like to take in one location. It does offer temperature sensors, both getting the information from the pavement and also monitoring the internal components of the gauge to make sure the gauge does not overheat when on hot pavement. It also makes sure that the surface roughness is not an issue, and contact is also being made correctly on the surface of the pavement. These two issues can arise if the user's not careful, so the gauge will actually warn the user that there are issues with the measurement. Finally, it has one of the largest contact areas, so it gathers a lot of data from that one area. It's about 13 inches a plate, the sensor plate across, so it gathers a lot of data in order to give you the final density results. And it does have gauge system checks that go through once you turn the gauge on to make sure all the electronics, batteries are working correctly before you go out into the field and have a non-working gauge. The other nice feature of this product that we brought out, the NoNuke, is it does have a application for Android phones or tablets. It can be downloaded from the Google Store, and the application actually mimics all the data that you get on the actual gauge, and it's transferred directly via Bluetooth to a tablet or smartphone, so you can view your test results almost immediately after the test is taken. Here's a couple examples or screenshots from our mobile app. If you see on the left-hand side, you actually get the time of day, the test, the density, and then a number of other fields with data that are useful for the user while using the application. So you get a wealth of data right at your fingertips, and then that data can actually be exported to a report within the app to be able to send or email to anybody back at the home office, the foreman, a manager, anybody who would like to see the test results. You can also enter customer data information to set up the project. Here's a sample report for the NoNuke, and this is can be saved right on the tablet and then attached to an email and emailed from the field. The other nice thing is that InstroTek is about 7 service centers that can take care of this gauge across the country. So no matter where you're at, you have the ability to talk to someone that can help you with the NoNuke, either troubleshoot, figure out a problem, or just help your technician set up the gauge correctly before they go into the field. So that was our NoNuke product. Again, this came out in 2019, but it's now just starting to hit the market in a big way, and people are trying to find out more about this new product. The next one we'll talk about is called the PaveScan, which uses very similar technology to the NoNuke. It is a dielectric gauge, but this is a continuous dielectric system that gathers density information from the roadway. So let's take a look at the PaveScan. The PaveScan is actually manufactured by a company called GSSI. GSSI is in New Hampshire, and InstroTek has entered into a partnership with GSSI last summer to promote, sell, and service the PaveScan unit. So I'm still learning a lot about this technology, but I've been fortunate enough to work alongside GSSI now for quite a while and gather a lot more information on this brand new technology for the asphalt industry. The PaveScan started in research into this technology actually started a long time ago when they noticed a correlation between compaction and performance or longevity of the asphalt pavements. And then Washington DOT in 1989 noticed that for every % increase in air voids, they're above 7%, there was actually 10% loss in pavement life. So the higher air voids, the shorter your pavement life, or the more issues your pavement can have. And that's pretty well known now throughout the industry. They continue to do work with their antennas and ground penetrating radar with TTI in 2012, and then Minnesota DOT in 2015 continued prototyping a system that would be useful on the roadway, that would be easier to use, deploy, and measure density on the roadway. And then the PaveScan 1.0 was released in 2016 at TRB. So why do we need a technology like PaveScan? We're already coring, we have nuclear gauges, now we have non-nuclear gauges for the asphalt pavement. But Ohio DOT, their association just presented on the PaveScan, and I actually borrowed this slide from them, the next couple slides. And they showed these as why a technology PaveScan could be used. This type of pavement job, they actually cored, got all the cores passed above the 90% air void or compaction numbers that they were expecting. And initially the pavements looked good and everything passed, meaning it was a good pavement project. But after a while, the pavement started showing degradation and issues all along in certain sections where they weren't coring. At Ohio DOT, they actually use sampling rate of about 10 cores for 2,000 tons, which is about the equivalent of paving 4 football fields and only getting 10 singular spots where you're getting density data from. The PaveScan can do 54,000 samples in that same amount of tonnage, or in the same amount of length. So a system like the PaveScan is just giving you a wealth of data that you can use to analyze how well the pavement project is going, and if there's any issues you need to attend to during the pavement project. So what is the PaveScan? It's basically a cart-based system, as you see there in front of you, with 3 antennas. It can do continuous full coverage, as we just spoke about, and it does give you a contour map of the density and dielectric or uniformity of the pavement right after the finishing roller. So you can deploy the PaveScan, start scanning the roadway, and start gathering all that data to see if there are any issues or if data is uniform throughout the pavement project. It can give you density results, percent compaction, and percent air voids real time as you're moving, and we'll show you that here in a second. How it works, basically, we're still using a dielectric value to measure the uniformity of the pavement. These dielectric values, though, can be correlated to cores. And once you establish that density from core curve to dielectric, then you can establish the density of the pavement using the PaveScan. So you do have to do a little bit of work to get it correlated, but once you do that, you deploy the system and gather all that density information. If all you want to do is see your uniformity, you can deploy it and not calibrate it. But either way works, and it'll give you all that data at once. So let's talk a little bit about dielectric. Again, this technology is used on the NoNuke, is used here. It's basically every material has a dielectric value, whether it's air, water, or asphalt. So there you see for air is a dielectric of 1, water is about 81, and asphalt, for almost all given mixes out there that have been tested, it's about a 4 to a 7 dielectric. So once the unit is deployed and starts moving down the roadway, once it starts seeing a dielectric value of 1, which is air, that shows you that the density or uniformity of the asphalt pavement actually drops. So in this graphic here, you'll see as we're moving across and we hit those air voids, the system will actually show that in a contour map, with blue being a lower density and each antenna reading a lower dielectric value as it moves along the pavement. The system uses three antennas that are spaced about 2 feet apart, and you just do a pass on each side to cover the entire lane, a center pass to cover the wheel paths, and then a shoulder or longitudinal joint pass to finish and get a complete contour map of the asphalt pavement. Calibration can either be done with field cores, where you would get 3 low, 3 medium, and 3 high density field cores. And you could also use gyratory cores, and that technology is advancing, and more studies are being done to use gyratory cores as well for the calibration of the PaveScan. If you decide to use a calibration process with cores, it's a 4-step process using a sensor from the unit to measure dielectric of that particular mix. Now, it does apply to a particular mix. So for every mix that you would have to do this procedure to kind of dial in and get the unit set up prior to going out into the field and using it and getting that information. So why is this technology so interesting to DOTs, and where do they think it's going? MnDOT is one of the DOTs that have been using it and is out front with this technology. And they would like to see eliminating coring operations in the near future. They see this technology to be able to correlate excellent with coring and be able to gather that data without having to go out there and physically core initially. So there's a huge value. Ohio DOT sees the PaveScan as something that can be even more accurate just because of the amount of data you're getting than actual coring. And MassDOT actually put this out that, would estimate that $1 million a year is what it's costing them to core, not on top of all the safety aspects of it, as well as the potential for ruining a brand new road. So a lot of DOTs are looking at this a lot of different ways. I know Alaska DOT is looking at it as a way to possibly measure the joints as well. So there's a lot of applications that people are looking at this brand new technology as it's unrolling. Also the GSSI, along with InstroTek, is looking at a kit that would be used in the lab so that gyratory cores could be used instead of field cores, and then that would therefore eliminate the need for field cores and just creating that curve with just gyratory cores. This technology is still in their evaluation, but it looks very promising, and GSSI hopes to have something very soon. Therefore, almost eliminating coring in the future.
Hey, Maurice, I just want to let you know you got 4 more minutes.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's go through the sample data. We'll kind of skip through. You can attach the KLM file to your data, so you can see it from a outside view. And so let's go to the final conclusion here. So really, the PaveScan is a great asphalt evaluation tool. Again, it's continuous coverage and can provide coring locations where you might want to look at the pavement closer and core there. So it does give you a lot of insight into your pavement and not just a single point. Let's continue with the AutoXtract. This is a brand new product from InstroTek. If you've ever done binder extractions, this is kind of what you always look at, fume hood, large footprint. The AutoXtract actually does this in an enclosed system, fully automatic, and it drastically reduces the exposure to the technician to solvents. And it does not require a fume hood. So it's almost an automatic way to do extractions and recover and do recoveries afterwards. Here's kind of the different sections of the PaveScan. You have a washing drum. You have your interface, or where you control the system, a high-speed centrifuge, your solvent extraction, and distillation chamber. This system will actually recycle solvent on its own, and it has a very small footprint. Since I'm running a little short on time here, I'll just kind of put this up there. The biggest advantage of the system is that it's a closed-loop system with about an hour. It takes about an hour to do a full extraction, and it does recycle the type of solvent you're using. Very simple to use, kind of push button operation. No offset, easy to use, doesn't harm the samples. You can recover everything back from the solvent. Just some more specifications, we'll skip that. Preparing the lab, again, we do have a sheet if you want to know exactly what you need, your power, what kind of solvents. Just please email me and I can send you that so you know exactly what you need in your lab to install one of these. So you know the full cost of the system, not just the product price. Finally, just one more slide, guys, and I am done. We have a brand new product, and you're the first audience to see this actually be presented, this brand new product. And we have come out with a NCAT ignition front panel upgrade. This upgrade is going to replace nearly 90% of all the electronics of the NCAT furnace that you use for burn-offs. And it's really going to add a number of benefits, along with Bluetooth and application where you can start, stop, see all your ticket information right from your phone, touchscreen, much larger buttons, USB download. I mean, the amount of stuff we put into this new front panel is great. We have the product and be ready. We're shooting for April 1st right now. If you want to be on our list or find out more about it, just send me an email and we'll be happy to let you know exactly when the product is released. But this really, for those ovens that have some issues that, the electronics on those ovens are getting old, this really will bring it up to date and make it a really nice furnace in the laboratory. So with that, Trent, I'll just put up my information. Brian O'Toole is the rep for our company in Virginia. I have his information there as well. So if you need to contact us, we'd love to hear from you.
Hey, great information, Maurice. A couple questions came in for the PaveScan itself. How thick of an asphalt layer is it accurate to? Is it 2 inches, 3 inches, 5 inches? How deep can it go?
That's a great question. The PaveScan measures about the top of the pavement, but studies show that the uniformity is throughout for about 2 inches. About 1.5 to 2 inches lift. So if your lift is about 2 inches, then you're going to get that density data correct with the PaveScan.
Another question on the PaveScan was, could it be used for condition ratings? So could you take it out on an existing road to look at the changes maybe in the dielectric constants?
Yeah, you could. I don't see why not. The dielectric is going to give you the feedback as long as you're able to set it up and know what that mix information was. I believe you could probably do some forensics with it and pass with it. It's a great question. I haven't been asked that, but I don't see why not. You can definitely do it with other instruments. So I believe you could.
All right, a couple questions. If you all still want to send them in, we'll get a log of them and have Maurice and InstroTek reply to them. Any modifications needed when you're changing the chemicals of the auto extractor?
No, the only thing is you do have to order it for whatever solvent you'll be using it for, because it does require different setups for the system. So whatever solvent you initially decide to go with, whether it's trike or something else, we'll set it up for that. So that's the solvent you'll have to use. When you're changing the solvents out, it's just a matter of extracting the old solvent and putting the new solvent in.
Excellent. One or two more and then we'll cut it off. How long does it take to get a reading with that non-nuclear gauge?
The reading's about 7 seconds. So it's very quick.
Very quick. So not like this 30 and 60-second modes.
Now with the dielectric technology now, it's super fast.
Right. And since people are asking right now, there's no, and maybe somebody from the department can correct me later, they're not on the approved list for doing acceptance testing. It doesn't prevent you from doing quality control testing with these devices, but we have been working with a couple of the different manufacturers to see how we could rotate them in for an acceptance type process and a QC like on our method A routes, and look at the repeatability and accuracy for the method B routes as an acceptance tool. But for now, there are no changes to the VDOT spec, but this is good information to have out there so we can continue that conversation. And with that, it is 12:25. That's the end of the InstroTek Innovation Connection time this morning, or I guess it's this afternoon now. So thanks, Maurice and InstroTek, for being number one, the first one out of the box. It went great. We will have these available. So if you want to watch the recordings later, we'll be posting links on our website. So with that, I want to take a couple-minute break. So if you need to get up, get something to drink, we will start back at 12:30 with Ritchie Brothers. So appreciate it, everybody.
Thank you.